Hey everyone, Zach here with the Launchpad, and well, it seems like anytime I talk to someone about going to space, there's always a few questions that come up. What's the food like? Where do I sleep? But the biggest question by far is something that we probably all need to know if we want to go to orbit, and that's what's the bathroom situation? As civilian flight becomes more readily available, more people will begin asking this, so here's your quick deep dive into using toilets in space. And really, it's the same no matter what craft you're on now, these days. Yeah, this is a weird topic, I know, but let's just get into it. The toilet situation is something most astronauts don't really talk about, but a few have, and one even gave a video tour on the ISS. There are two toilets on the International Space Station, one in the Vesta module and the other in the Tranquility module. And they are very complicated systems, because on station, if something can be reused, it will be. In 2020, NASA launched a new $23 million space toilet to the ISS. This expensive commode is designed for dual operations and will eventually be used in deep space missions. It's also the first toilet to be designed for both men and women. The new toilet features many of the same systems like the fan and the funnel attachments and hoses as previous iterations. It also has a removable waste compartment for the astronauts to deposit their droppings in. Each time the business is sucked into a baggie, once finished, they'll seal that baggie and then push the baggie down into a canister. Then they install a new baggie and the process just repeats itself until the canister is full. As the canister fills up, the bathroom might not start smelling as fresh, so the canister only holds 30 deposits. Once the canister is full, it is discarded with the rest of the trash into outer space. But this isn't always how it was. If we look back at the start of the space program and the Mercury mission, there was no bathroom, and on May 5th, 1961, when astronaut Alan Shepard famously became the first American to fly to space, he had also already relieved himself on the pad. This caused a short circuit in his suit and his medical data sensors. This was an oversight by NASA, as they thought astronauts could hold it for the 5 hours from suit donning to launch. But due to delays on Shepard's flight, he spent 8 hours in his suit firmly fastened to the seat of the Mercury capsule, so there was no way for him to get up to use the liquid waste collector located near the entrance hatch, supposedly. By John Glenn's 1962 flight, the designers of the Mercury spacesuit had developed a urinary collection device, but it was basically a plastic bag with some tubes and straps. I'm not going to get into all the science of what gravity does to the urge to go, but let's just say you'll only know when you're full. By the Apollo era, you would have thought a better solution would have been found, right? You'd be wrong, unfortunately. Technically, the first toilets weren't installed until Skylab in 1970s, but that was more of a hole in the wall. The first real space toilet was on the US Space Shuttle in the 1980s. During the missions to the moon, the Apollo astronauts would use something very similar to the Mercury mission era. Human waste was regulated down to just a baggie system, and NASA insisted that astronauts bring back all their feces for examination. So after the astronauts finished their business, they had to seal it up, knead the bag to mix in some chemicals to make sure that it lasted the trip back to Earth. I'm not sure I could do that. That's as far as I'm going with that one. If you want to know more, you can look up the publicly available logs of each movement and its analysis. Back then, going to the toilet was something astronauts avoided as much as possible because relieving oneself in space was such a gross, time-consuming, and smelly task. Astronauts often used laxatives before launch and sometimes relied on drugs so they could slow down their intestines so they didn't have to go. During Apollo 10 mission in May 1969, astronaut Tom Stafford sounded a warning saying, "Get me a napkin quick, there's a turd floating through the air." This is straight out of the transcripts, I can't lie. Now, what about the capsules of today? That $23 million toilet we talked about earlier, well, that's going to be built into the Orion capsule. But what about SpaceX Crew Dragon? Not a lot is known, but thanks to a couple pictures from Crew 1 and 2, we know where it's located and what it looks like, and we can confirm here that there's zero privacy when needing to be used. On SpaceX Crew Dragon, the toilet is located in a compartment right above the side hatch that was used during the ingress. And yes, it's on the ceiling. During the Crew 1 mission, we got our first look after it was opened up, and yes, that bag you see below it is full of all the accessories. SpaceX has been pretty quiet about how it works, but the technical documents they released, you can see it's very similar to the toilets during the Space Shuttle era. As mentioned earlier, your body operates differently when in zero-G, and fluids are distributed throughout the body, and that can cause a quick urge to go. During the Space Shuttle mission, it was very common that the entire crew would need to use the toilet within 2 hours, which is why now, when Crew Dragon gets to orbit, one of the first systems activated is the toilet. Now, if you're someone that needs privacy, unfortunately space toilets are not going to be for you. Crew Dragon will ask Mission Control for a bio break so cameras get turned off, and a small curtain will be pulled down between you and the crew. On the ISS, you have, guess what you could call a stall, but it's right next to workout gear and research equipment, so there's probably someone right outside. So what do you think? Would you be comfortable using a current space toilet? Let me know in the comments. I'm not sure I could do it, but if that's the only barrier for me to going to space, I'll just get over it. Now, I know this was a weird topic to cover, but hey, we're all human, we all do it, and now you have an answer you can share with your friends. If you have a topic you want me to do a deep dive on, let me know in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed, well, maybe enjoyed's the wrong word, learn something in this video, and follow us over on Twitter at TLPN_official. This is Zach with the Launchpad signing off.